I often get asked whether you really need to be poor to be spiritual, whether it's inconceivable to have wealth and truly have a relationship with God and be leading a spiritual life. Usually I'm asked by people who are trying to lead spiritual lives and have big, bad conscience feelings about making money. And often they're so destitute financially that they can't afford to go to a retreat or attend a seminar. Or then they come to a seminar and they say they need mercy on not being able to afford what it would cost to attend. And they are believing there's real merit in being so poor that they can't afford to take care of themselves. An interesting thing sneaks in there too is not only are they so poor they can't take care of themselves, they also somehow believe in there's an entitlement then to have other people take care of them because they're attending to consciousness rather than to worldly things. If you feel this if this is something you struggle with, it may be because you've had lifetimes as a monk and in monasteries, and it's so deep in you, you wouldn't know what to do with it, this distaste for engaging in business or in any of the money-making activities. It may be that you're using it as an excuse because you actually wouldn't want to hold a job and you don't like to work hard and you just like to be in the fantasies of your mind and imagining how spiritual you are. It may be that you have a very serious question of conscience of how to make this be all right. It may also be that you've seen other people who've become wealthy or been wealthy, how corrupt they have been, and you're worried that you also would become corrupt if you had money. You don't trust yourself with having money. I want to make this pretty simple for you. Having money is not the problem. So many philanthropies, so many of the good works that are done in the world couldn't possibly happen if people who had money didn't generously contribute to them and make them happen. Having a good income or having inherited money or having it is never the problem. It's how you feel about it and how you act regarding that money. If you recognize it's been given to you, this privilege, this financial privilege has been given to you in order to do good and contribute wherever you can, and then you go about responsibly helping out, then you're doing a good thing. It's what Jesus called being a good steward of the money, that God entrusted it to you, and then you are distributing it. On the other hand, it can be a means by which you do get lost and you identify yourself as being wealthy and therefore important and therefore having value in the eyes of God. In fact, you have no value in the eyes of God for having any material possessions. You have value for the goodness of your heart and the caring you bring into the world and what you contribute and for your direct relationship with God. So it's not the having or not having that is the problem. It's whether you identify with this and whether you make good use of what you've been given. We shouldn't be hogging or hoarding. We don't need ridiculously lavish houses and cars and things of all kinds. We should be modest, and there is a whole group of modest billionaires coming along that are actually being very conscious of how they're using their money and being a great help to a lot of people. That I am grateful for them. So I want to address more the problem, those of you who feel exempt from needing to make a living because you think of yourself as spiritual. I encourage you to look honestly into yourself and see whether it isn't that you really don't want to work. You sort of don't like work, and you don't want to be stuck in an office. You think that you have greater value than that. You have a whole disdain and disrespect for those who hold regular jobs. You think you should have a more important job than that. When you do that, you are using spirituality as an excuse for not doing your part. We should make a living. All of us should make a living and pay for what our expenses are and have enough money to be able to do other things that matter more. We should learn to work hard, learn to be responsible in jobs, learn the skills and the relational elements we have to for jobs. There's much to be learned there. And in avoiding it, you are rarely growing in consciousness. You are more likely avoiding consciousness. So let's not equate having no money and making others take care of you because you can't take care of yourself with spirituality. It is not the same thing.